everyone, welcome to In Your Disney Dreams. I'm Imogen.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're a lesbian couple living in the East Midlands in the UK. So this video is our Disney planning video. We are going to Walt Disney World for 2 weeks, so 14 days at the start of August. It's my 5th trip to a Disney park.
And my first.
So we are beyond excited to experience it together for the first time. Obviously, Sarah's never been, so there's so much to do and explore. And so hopefully you'll follow along with our trip. We're going to vlog the trip, we're going to do some different videos leading up to it, pack with us what outfits we're going to be wearing, so you can follow along and get an idea of what we're doing on our trip, and maybe it'll help you to plan your trip as well. For a little bit of context, we're in our early 20s. Like we said, we're big Disney fans already, so we want to do as much as possible while we're there, but also kind of relax quite a bit, take it kind of easy, a little bit slower.
And we're not just Disneying, we're also going to Universal, and we'll be off site for a little bit as well.
These plans that you're about to see in a moment are our current plans. They have already changed.
They've changed a lot.
We'll explain that in a moment. Sarah is disabled, so we will be applying for the Disney Accessibility Pass. So that's going to be another element to our trip that might be useful for you to see, and we'll sort of change what we do as we go along, depending on how, well, both of us are feeling, to be honest, because it's an awful lot of walking, and we're not used to that amount of exercise.
And I'm also larger, so we will include some bits about, fitting on some rides and also how to manage excessive heat.
Definitely. That's a big one. We're already, and you will see in our Pack With Us video and our Park Fact videos, we're thinking about how on earth we can manage that, particularly for you. But just in general, because August in Florida is very, very warm and humid.
And she's really bad with dealing with the heat.
As it stands at the moment, our plans are also based around which parks we've booked park pass reservations for. So at the moment at Disney World, they still have the booking system where you have to book in each day for the park.
Until January 9th, 2024.
Yeah, so certainly on our next trip, which may or may not be next year, we've not decided yet, there we won't have to do that. But at the moment you still do. So our days are planned around that. You can park up at 2 PM, which kind of restricts what you can do. It's very different from when I last went. I last went in 2017, so 6 years ago. There's a lot of new stuff that I'm excited to see, but there's also a lot of things I feel like I'm going to miss a little bit. I mean, RIP the fast pass system, but that's a whole nother video.
The footage you're about to see is from our advanced dining reservation, or ADR, day. Now, advanced dining reservations are something that you can make 60 days before your time of arrival. And if you're staying on Disney property, you have the added benefit of being able to book the first 10 days of your trip. So, we had already planned in advance what restaurants that we wanted to go to.
That's vital, otherwise you're going to be in a right pickle trying to pick the ones you want.
Definitely. And we also researched a lot online about which ones would be the hardest to get out of the ones that we wanted, so that we could prioritise those. So, for example, one of the experiences we wanted to book was a Fantasmic dining package. And we knew that they could, fill up really quickly. So,
especially for the restaurant we wanted. We wanted to book for Sci-Fi Dining Theatre, and that one goes without the package, like, really quickly.
Yeah, we highly recommend knowing what restaurants you want to go to and also having them in some sort of priority list.
Alongside planning carefully where you want to book, it's also worth noting that the advanced dining reservations open at 11 AM UK Greenwich Mean Time of your 60 days until your trip. It's 6 AM, is it Florida time? Yeah. So,
6 AM Eastern, 5 AM Central.
You need to be there ready for 11 AM. Have as many people on it as you can, as many as possible, gives you the best chance.
I recommend using the atomic clock online, so you can click refresh as soon as it hits.
Yeah, keep refreshing it. Sometimes we've heard they get released a bit early. That wasn't the case when we did it, but sometimes they can be. Yeah, keeping an eye on like an actual spot on clock, because it is bang on that time.
And having all your tabs set up already. So we had all our different tabs open for each of the different restaurants that we wanted to go to. We'd split them between the two of us, and then we, as soon as the clock hit, we refreshed and we went in our priority order.
But as you're about to see,
things didn't go quite to plan.
I'm just going to sit and keep refreshing it. Although I don't want to crash the computer by continually refreshing. Okay, so this is the setup we've got going on. We've got both the Florida clock and the UK clock and the reservations loading. So in less than a minute, they should come up. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go and sit back down so that I can focus on the ones that I'm trying to get. So we're hoping to get Crystal Palace, yes, at 8 a.m, which is the time it opens, on our first day in Magic Kingdom. And then you're over there trying to get Fantasmic dining package for Sci-Fi Diner, which sounds like the most impossible thing ever. What else? Skipper Canteen. Cape May Cafe.
And then you're getting Grand Flow Cafe.
And I'm getting Grand Flow Cafe. I might be more nervous for this than I was for my last assignment this year.
I'm not nervous, I just...
Priorities,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
4,
3, 2,
1. 11 o'clock. Oh, it says there's no times available. Oh! Yeah, you having trouble with it too?
Yeah.
Oh no, this is so stressful.
What Sci-Fi Diner?
Oh, we got one. Thank God. That's what mine did. Does it keep doing that? Well, that was very stressful. I've ended up doing most of them on my phone. I think we caught it when Sarah managed to get the Fantasmic Sci-Fi Dining package, which was quite a feat, and then everything just stopped loading and it got a bit stressful. But we've got a few more of the ones we wanted. So we've got Skipper Canteen, we've got Cape May Breakfast, and we've got Grand Flow Cafe for dinner, which isn't particularly hard to get, but we still wanted to get that one. We still cannot get Crystal Palace Breakfast, but we don't seem able to book Crystal Palace at all, no matter the time, for all of the 10 days we're able to book. So don't know what that's about. Maybe it's closed at the moment. So we managed to book Crystal Palace, not for the first day of our holiday, but for the Monday, which is about a week in. But we have got it for the time we want. So early morning, Magic Kingdom, and now our Excel spreadsheet's going kaput. It's been a very stressful last hour, but I'm just grateful I don't have to try and ring Disney dining people and sit on the phone on hold all day. So even though it didn't all go to plan, first place, we are now very happy with the reservations we've got. We booked the other ones for days 11 to 14, so things like Kona Cafe, we want to go to the boathouse. We booked those as well, so we are all sorted for the reservations we want. And we will talk a bit more about the types of experience we want to do when we go through our plans in a minute. Okay, so let's dive into our current plans. They are all up on our Excel spreadsheet. Our travel day is kind of split across 2 days, but arguably 3. Where we live in the East Midlands, we are actually heading down from here to my mum's house near Bristol, and we are going to stay there for 10 days before we go. We're actually dog sitting for them while they're away. So our travel starts quite early. We'll be packing way in advance, and then taking that down with us. But we're not flying from Bristol. So we then have to get a bus from Bristol to Gatwick. And then we are staying overnight in the travel lodge at Gatwick before our flight the next morning. Then we are flying out of Gatwick to Orlando via Dublin with Aer Lingus. So I've done this before, but I've flown from Bristol. So I've flown to Orlando from Bristol via Dublin. It worked really well actually, and the bonus being you get to do immigration in Dublin, so it saves you a lot of time on the Orlando end of things. But not gonna lie, your first long haul flight, first ever connecting flight, my first connecting flight without one of my parents there, it's a little bit scary, but I'm putting my faith in the fact that Aer Lingus do this a lot. They know what they're doing. There's a system in place and it will be fine. So our flight is sort of 10, 11 o'clock in the morning to Dublin, and then our flight from Dublin to Orlando leaves Dublin at about sort of 2 o'clock time. So by the time we land in Orlando, it's going to be 6:30 Orlando time. And then we are going from the airport, no immigration needed, so hopefully it should be fairly smooth and quick collecting the bag. We're going on the Mears Connect to our hotel, and we are staying at Pop Century Resorts. Neither of us have stayed there before. I stayed at a couple of different Disney resorts, but never Pop Century, so we're excited about that. It comes very highly recommended from loads of people, so we're excited to see what that's like. We will obviously be very tired by the time we get there, so we're just going to sort of chill around there, make sure we get ourselves sorted with some magic bands, get some food, chicken tenders, definitely on the cards, and also hopefully we're going to get an Instacart or an Amazon Fresh order delivered with like water, milk, cereal to the room, so we can have breakfast and things in the morning and make sure we stay hydrated in the insane heat. So that is our plans for travel days.
So, day 1, we are heading to the Magic Kingdom.
Obviously.
Well, it's your favourite park.
Yeah. I think it is sacrilegious to not go to the Magic Kingdom on your first day in Disney World. You've got to agree with me.
I don't know, I've not been yet.
Well, you will agree with me.
We will be up early due to jet lag, and we will be heading in for extra magic hours, so you get half an hour extra time in the parks if you are staying at a Disney World hotel. And so as we are staying at Pop Century, we get that extra half an hour. And during that half an hour, we will be soaking in the magic of Main Street USA. And the fantastic Disney Castle. How do you feel about the Disney Castle being different to the last time you went?
It took me a while to get used to it, but I have got used to it, and I do like it now that it's pink. Pink is my favourite colour, so it was natural I was going to adjust to it, but it was a bit of a change, and when it first happened I was like, oh my god, what have they done? But I like it now.
After we have soaked all of that in...
And cried a lot walking down Main Street.
Yeah.
It's going to be emotional. I've not been in 6 years. You've been waiting your whole life.
After we've soaked it all up, we will be heading into Fantasyland to go to Gaston's Tavern, where we will be getting a giant cinnamon roll with extra icing. So we will be spending the morning in Magic Kingdom. We don't have any sort of big plans to rush onto any rides.
No lightning lanes.
No lightning
like
lanes.
anything like that. We're not going to worry about Tron on the first day.
No. We're just going to take the time to take it all in. We'll undoubtedly do some rides.
Big Thunder Mountain.
You want to get on Big Thunder Mountain.
It's my favourite.
I've never been on a roller coaster before, so I'm very, very excited. A little bit nervous. But
You're going
very
to love them.
excited. I think I will.
You're going to love it.
Yeah. And then for lunch that day, we're thinking about going to Pecos Bill. And as it is our first day, and we will be very tired because we would have got up very early.
And just exhausted from all of the energy and excitement and adrenaline.
Yeah. It would get to about 2 o'clock, adrenaline crash.
And it gets so hot.
Yeah. So we're going to head back to the resort and go into the pool.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, we are going during
like thunder and hurricane
season.
I mean, all year round in Florida, it's tropical climate, but particularly August is very muggy and humid, and thunderstorms are a daily occurrence. Usually only last about half an hour, but sort of, I'd say like between 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon every day, without fail, torrential thunderstorms. But it will pass.
Then in the evening we are going to head to Disney Springs, have a little moo shrew.
As Adam and Gary would say. We had to get a reference in there.
Exactly. I mean, the whole reason we're staying at Pop Century is because of his dream guide.
Yeah, we've got to give Adam some credit, absolutely. Yeah. And if you're not following Adam Hatton already, what are you doing with your life? Get on it.
But we're going to head to Disney Springs. We are going to check out some of the merch, and probably head to Chicken Guy or Blaze for a nice dinner.
Yeah, like we said, kind of flexible. Yeah. Definitely hitting up World of Disney while we're there, seeing what merch is available, because I think it's silly to buy all your nice ears and t-shirts at the end of the holiday, because then you don't get to wear them while you're there. And also, a key piece of advice for the whole trip: if you see something you like, as hard as it might be, because you think, oh, I'll see something better, get it when you see it, because it might not be there next time. Mm-hmm. They release new things almost daily, and they can and do sell out really quickly, so you just don't know what's going to be popular, so pick it up when you see it. Okay, so day 2 of the holiday, we are heading to Epcot. We're going to start off just at Pop Century, keep it very chill. Again, probably still quite an early morning due to jet lag, but we're just going to eat in the room, like we said, we're getting some cereal and milk hopefully from Instacart, so we'll have that, or we might pop down to the quick service at Pop Century. Then head into Epcot for 8:30. We can go in by, again, using that extra, it's not called extra magic hours anymore, early entry. All the wording has changed since I went last, so it's a lot to wrap your head around.
And we're going to take use of the Skyliner.
Oh yeah, one of the big bonuses of staying at Pop Century is you have the Skyliner to get to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. You do go via a couple of other resorts, but we've heard good things. I am a bit nervous, not the biggest fan of heights. Did not enjoy the cable car when we went on that in London. Yes, we're going to use the Skyliner. That will be exciting to see what that's like. Go to Epcot. It's Food and Wine Festival while we're there. Going on some rides. Soaring is an absolute favourite of mine. Still haven't been on Frozen Ever After. Guardians is new. Really excited to do that. I think we will try and book virtual queues.
That's one we'll probably get a lightning.
Yeah. If not, again, so we did mention earlier, and we'll do a whole separate video on the DAS Pass, which is the Disney Accessibility Service. But you can essentially kind of avoid waiting in the queues per se. You still have to wait, but you don't have to queue to wait. So we'll explain that a bit more as and when we know more in a separate video. But that might help us out with things like the really popular rides like Guardians. For lunch, it has to be Katsura Grill. Probably my favourite quick service on property, so hopefully it's as good as I remember. Followed by more Epcot in the afternoon. We might pop over to the Boardwalk Hotel, which is just sort of next to Epcot. You can walk to it out of the World Showcase and exit. And so we might go and sit there for a bit and just have a relax before we head back into Epcot for Eagle Smokehouse, which is in the American Pavilion, which do classic American barbecue for dinner, which is one of my favourite cuisines ever. I'd eat it every day.
It's not really my thing, but
we're compromising.
We do.
We have quite different tastes in a lot of ways. You're very sweet tooth, I'm quite savoury gal, but we're compromising. You'll see later in the trip there's quite a lot of buffets. That kind of caters to the fact that we have different tastes. And then it's quite flexible that evening, so we might stay at Epcot, we might go somewhere else. We'll see how we feel.
Okay, so day 3 is a little bit different. We have decided to hire a car for about 48 hours. This is because we want to do a little bit of off-site shopping. Now, as I've never been to America before, I've never experienced the American shops, and so it was a definite must for me on this trip. So we're talking Walmart, we're talking outlets,
Bath and Body Works, Target, you name it.
And you want to go to a craft shop.
First time driving abroad as well.
Yeah.
And I'm driving.
And it's on a different side of the road.
Yeah.
And different side of the car.
And it's automatic.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it will. And we're doing this because it turned out to actually be about the same price that we were going to spend on Ubers. And I think we just both felt, particularly at the moment, it was a little bit safer as well, having our own car.
As a LGBT couple going to Florida on holiday, with the politics in Florida at the moment, it just felt a bit safer to us.
Absolutely. We're still going to be using Ubers later in the trip. And lots of people have been very positive about their experiences with them. Lyft as well, it's worth getting both the apps because sometimes one might be particularly busy.
That day is very flexible. We have a long list of different places we want to go. We're just going to go with the flow. We'll grab lunch somewhere along the way, and then we're hoping to get dinner at the Cheesecake Factory. And
American institution.
Yeah. And as you said earlier, I have a massive sweet tooth, and so I am very, very excited. I've heard lots of good things, and hopefully it lives up to that.
It will.
And then, it's just a flexible evening, then back to the hotel, where luckily we now get free parking again, so that'll be great.
Which comes in handy on day 4, when we are going to our first restaurant reservation on Disney property. We have booked Cape May Cafe, which is at the Beach Club Resort. This is a character buffet breakfast. So as we said earlier, we like kind of different things. So buffets work quite well for us. They can be a little bit more pricey, especially if you've got a lot of people. I think it's about, is it $45 per person for breakfast? Maybe more.
Something like that.
If it's your first Disney trip or a really big trip, then character meals are something you definitely want to do, which is kind of why we're doing a lot, because it's Sarah's first trip. We want to meet some characters. We're big kids at heart, so we're looking forward to that. We are driving to Beach Club, then from there we're going to drive to the Super Target in Lake Buena Vista. Check out that, because it's one that we thought we can't cram everything into one day of shopping, so we'll do one.
Everything else is in the opposite direction, so it just made sense.
Exactly, so that's why we're doing it on a different day. Then we are going to go to Hollywood Studios, because we've not been there yet, and it has changed so much since I was there. Toy Story Land wasn't there in 2017. Galaxy's Edge wasn't there in 2017. Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway wasn't there.
That's probably the part that's changed the most.
It absolutely is,
isn't it?
So I'm so intrigued to see that. Like we say, we're going a bit later, so it might be quite busy, but we're going to make
our
the
first time, so it's more about soaking it up. We'll go to a couple of different attractions. Might get like a DAS Pass reservation.
Yeah, use the Lightning Lanes maybe, Genie Plus. We'll see how it is. Then we got to drop the car off later that day, which is at the Hilton, which is on the Lake Buena Vista site. So it's really near to Disney Springs. So we're going to drop the car off and head over to Disney Springs, have dinner and chill in Disney Springs. But again, it's quite flexible, so we don't know where we're going to eat. Maybe Blaze, Chicken Guy, whichever one we didn't eat at on the first night.
So then day 5, we are just getting breakfast at the resort again, whether that's in the room or from the quick service, before heading to Animal Kingdom. And I'm very excited for Animal Kingdom. I am a big animal lover.
Safari's a must.
Yeah, definitely. And elephants are one of my favourite animals, and I've never seen an elephant before. So yes, heading over to Animal Kingdom again, and then hoping to get Satuli Canteen for lunch. We've heard lots of good things about Satuli Canteen. Yeah. You've not been before?
No, it was there. Pandora was there when I went in 2017, but we didn't go.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but taking all of that in, gonna get on some rides. I also
Expedition Everest.
Yeah,
Flight of Passage.
I'm obsessed with dinosaurs, so all of Dinoland USA is a
Which is
absolute
controversial.
must. Well,
Not everyone likes Dinoland USA.
yeah, but I love dinosaurs. Then we were thinking, you know, it's 5 days into the trip, we're going to be lagging a bit.
Yeah, it's quite full on the last couple of days.
Yeah. So we're going to head back to the resort, have a chill, go in the pool, just take it easy, nice, relaxed couple of hours before heading in the evening to Magic Kingdom. And we have got dinner booked at Skipper Canteen, which we've heard lots of good things about.
It's meant to be quite a hard one to book, so again, that was one of those ones we prioritised.
Yeah.
But yeah, really excited for that.
Yeah. So yes, we have food booked at Skipper Canteen, which we are both very excited for, before watching Happily Ever After. And this will be my first time ever watching a fireworks show. I've never been to anything in the UK or anything like that, so I'm a little bit nervous. I do have autism, so I do struggle with sensory overload, but I've got my loop earplugs and it'll all be okay.
It will. We might even end up going to see the fireworks before that, because we've got a couple of evenings that are quite flexible. So day 6, we are doing another character breakfast, going to Topolino's Terrace. That'll be exciting. That is at the top of the tower in the Riviera Resort, which is brand new. I've never been there. We can get the Skyliner to it from Pop Century. You are beyond excited about that one. It's not a buffet. It is a sit down and you order certain things, but it is a character breakfast, so it has similar sort of style to it.
I love art, so very excited. Maybe even mostly excited for the palette knife, butter knife, which I want to see if I can try and get in the Riviera shop.
I might put a picture up on the screen so people can see it.
Amazing.
Then we're having quite a chill morning that day. We are going to go to Disney Springs or chill in the pool. And then after that kind of flexible morning and lunch, we're going to Hollywood Studios, and we have got our sci-fi dine-in Fantasmic dining package booked for that day. So we've got an early dinner that day, so 5:15, and we've got quite a big breakfast, so we might not want much for lunch really, which is why we haven't planned anything. We're going to explore Hollywood Studios before and after Sci-Fi Diner, which is very classic American, and it's in kind of like a drive-through theatre, so you sit in a fake car, it's all dark, there's sort of movies and things playing. I've been before many years ago, 2010 now. I was tiny, I was 8 years old, so that will be quite different for me and brand new for you. And then by doing that dining package, you pay a little bit more for the food, even though it's the same food you would get if you didn't have the package, but it means you get priority seating for Fantasmic, which I am so excited for. Haven't seen that since 2013. I might be more excited than Happily Ever After, which is saying something, because I'm so excited for Happily Ever After. But yeah, priority seating is going to be great. We don't have to worry about getting to the theatre like an hour before.
Day 7, halfway through already. I can't believe it. We are going to Crystal Palace that morning, which means we get even earlier entry to Magic Kingdom, and walking up Main Street USA when it is dead quiet is going to be super exciting and very special. I think if you've got a reservation you can get in anytime from 7:30, so we could go in a little bit earlier.
But that was one of our most wanted reservations.
Definitely.
You'd have seen in the footage we were a bit devastated when we couldn't get that.
Yeah, we're both very big Winnie the Pooh fans. That day we'll be bounding as Winnie the Pooh characters, so it'll be very good.
That's
and
great.
then we're going to spend the rest of the morning in Magic Kingdom, just enjoying.
We might do Tron that day.
We might do Tron that day, just enjoying it, just making the most of it. We want to go to Sleepy Hollow for lunch. And then we're going to spend the afternoon resort hopping, which I am very excited for, and I know Imogen is also extremely excited for.
I know I've been there 3 times before, but I've barely seen the other resorts.
So as we're in Magic Kingdom, we're going to start by going around some of the monorail resorts.
So that's Grand Floridian, Polynesian and the Contemporary Resort.
Yep. You've been fortunate enough to stay at the Polynesian before.
Back in 2010, when it was nowhere near the price that it is now. I don't think we will ever be staying there again.
Contemporary, Polynesian, Grand Float, just taking our time, looking around, popping
and going
into
on the monorail.
Yep. And popping into the shops, might get a couple of snacks in different places. And then we want to head over to Port Orleans French Quarter because I really want to try the beignets.
I want to try the beignets too. I stayed there in 2017 and we just completely missed the beignets. This was before I knew all of the beauties about Disney. I was naive. I let my dad plan the trip and say what was worth eating and not. And he relies on the classic, guide to Florida. No internet, just a guide. So we missed the beignets.
But we're going to have them this time. Just the classic ones. I know they do some different flavours and
They do boozy
stuff.
beignets.
They do. But I think we're just going to stick to the classic.
Powdered sugar. Glorious.
And then we've just got a very flexible evening. We might head to a couple of different resorts.
Animal Kingdom Lodge, I think.
Yeah, I really want to go to Animal Kingdom Lodge. Definitely want to try the zebra zones in the Mara. So
that brings us to day 8. We're going to try and speed it up as we get through the next few days because I realise we've been talking for a while now. Should have warned you at the start to get a cup of tea. We've got coffee, so you deserve a cup of tea if you made it this far. Day 8 of the holiday. This is when we get to do our Universal days. Originally they were more spread out, but we've ended up clumping them together into 3 days, even though we have 14-day tickets. So in theory, some of those flexible spots we could go and check out Universal if we fancied, but that's mostly Universal because we wanted a bit more Disney at the end of the holiday. Day 8, we're going to start off our day at Cinnabon on Universal City Walk. You have established we like a cinnamon roll. Then head into Islands of Adventure and do Velocicoaster, hopefully do Hagrid's, maybe the Hulk. We'll see how we
Jurassic
feel.
River Adventure.
Yes, you've not done never done big roller coasters. So
I've never done any roller coasters.
No, but Universal and maybe Tron are kind of your first experiences of a big roller coaster. I love them, or at least I did last time I went in 2017. I'm a bit worried I suddenly become motion sick, so that might be interesting to navigate, but we will see. Fingers crossed.
Just do deep breaths.
I've got some travel bands and some tablets.
Keith from Cheers suffers with motion sickness, and he says, just focus on your breathing.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, focus on your breathing and focus on the ride. Don't think about anything else.
Such a dad. Keith reminds me of my dad. So yeah, heading to Islands of Adventure in the morning, then leaving the park to go to Bubba Gump's for lunch is a must. And I have now seen Forrest Gump, and I can get all the references in the restaurant now. And then head back into Universal Studios, probably. So we get to experience a bit of both parks. You used to love Harry Potter, not so much anymore, but it's still going to be pretty cool.
I feel like, as soon as I step into Diagon Alley and
it's
Hogsmeade,
very impressive.
It's going to just bring me back
and
to
there's
my
some
days
great rides as well
of Harry Potter obsession.
And then a more kind of flexible evening. We're not sure where we're going to eat, whether we'll go back to Disney, stay in Universal. We'll see how we feel.
We have, I just want to mention, booked park pass reservations even if we're not planning on going to Disney that day, in case we change our mind, or we want to have that sort of buffer in place.
Yeah, definitely. If something changes, you never know when they're going to book up. We're hoping it's not going to be too busy when we're there, but it is school holidays for some of America and all of Britain, so it might be kind of busy. But yeah,
we've tended to book the ones that fill up really quickly.
Yeah,
so Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom are the two that fill up, and Epcot and Animal Kingdom don't tend to. So we've tried to book Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, and it just means that we can go into a Disney park if we want to. Otherwise, without that reservation, if there's space, sometimes you can, but they can be a bit funny about it. So better safe than sorry. On day 9, we are going to go back to Universal, having had breakfast in the resort. Start off in studios so we can do some of those bigger rides that might have had longer waits in the afternoon the day before. But again, Universal Studios does have some kind of disability access scheme. We're less familiar with the Universal one than we are the Disney one, but we do know people that have used that in the past. Fingers crossed, if we speak to guest relations, they should be able to sort that out for us. Again, quite a flexible lunch. We might pick something up in the park. We've written down maybe to go to Bread Box on City Walk. They do nice sandwiches. Can be a little bit pricey. And then a bit more Islands of Adventure. Like we said, we've still booked park passes. So we have booked Magic Kingdom that day, and we might go and see the fireworks again. Maybe from the other side of the castle. Or I personally love going to Magic Kingdom and riding the rides when it's a bit quieter because everyone's watching the fireworks. Going on Big Thunder Mountain during the fireworks is a personal core memory of mine that I've done before, so I'd love to recreate that together. Followed by day 10, which is our other final day at Universal. We have got tickets included for Volcano Bay, but we've decided this trip there's just not enough time, and it's just, we're not going to get enough out of it to worry about going. We like water parks, we're going to go to Typhoon Lagoon, but we just don't like the big drop slides, and there's so many of them that it's quite far from where we're staying in Disney, and it just wasn't worth it. But through attraction tickets like we did, it's included in your Universal ticket. Mm-hmm. So if that's of interest to you, it's worth having a look there. Definitely. We also haven't mentioned at all that we actually booked all of our tickets through the official Walt Disney World website, which is how my family have always booked them. A lot of people would recommend you do it that way. I know places like attraction tickets are very reputable as well. And the good thing about the Disney website is you get free cancellations, and it's only a £50 deposit per person. So that's really quite affordable and flexible for you. But yes, day 10, back in Universal, Islands of Adventure. We're then going to get lunch in the Toothsome Chocolate Emporium, which is on the City Walk.
So excited.
Yeah. A sweet tooth mania over here. You cannot wait for all the chocolate involved in that. Again, we've booked a Disney park in the afternoon, Animal Kingdom. I want to spend an evening in Animal Kingdom. Sadly, it closes at 7 p.m. every day of our trip, so it might not be dark, but I want to see the bioluminescence in Pandora. And I want to go to Fame Tree Barbecue because, like I said, bit of a barbecue themed here.
That might even be a night where we end up getting something different, because I don't know if I want anything in Flame Tree Barbecue. Okay, so day 11, very near the end.
I know.
We were going to try and do 4 parks one day. However, because of the park pass reservations and not being able to park hop until 2 p.m. at the moment, we didn't think that would be possible. So we're going to do 3 parks in one day instead. I'm going to start in Magic Kingdom, because we feel like we could spend a longer period of time there.
Absolutely.
And also going to take advantage of the fact that it's the first night of the Halloween party, and Magic Kingdom tends to be a bit quieter on the days of a Halloween party.
Definitely.
So going to start there, then gonna move over to Hollywood Studios. We're not sure where we're gonna get lunch. We've been very flexible about it.
I think I want a Ronto wrap, but we'll see when we're there.
And then finally over to Epcot in the evening. We've got a booking for Tepanido, which is really exciting. You've been before.
I have indeed. It's solely for the green tea ice cream. It's not. The noodles are great too.
And then just an evening in Epcot. We might watch Epcot Forever that night.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Be nice. Followed by day 12, where we are having a more chilled day.
Yeah.
We're going to start in the resort. then head over to Typhoon Lagoon.
Yeah, we might have already done it, but we'll go again anyway, probably.
Have some fun in the water park, have a bit of a chill, definitely get in the wave pool. Very excited for that. Before heading to Disney Springs, which works out because you've got to go to Disney Springs to get to the water parks anyway.
Via Springs, basically.
So going back to Disney Springs, we're going to the boathouse for lunch. I'm going to get the cocktail which comes with a little rubber duck because I'm obsessed with ducks. And then just, mooching around Springs, very flexible.
Yeah.
We might go to a park, we might not, just taking it easy.
Yeah, we've got reservations for Hollywood Studios because it's one of the harder ones to get, but we might not use it, we might cancel it.
We might even go to Universal.
Yeah, we could.
And then the final full day, day 13.
Thinking about the end before we're even there.
No. We're starting out with a Kona Cafe breakfast because, as you've told me, Tonga toast is a must.
Absolutely. It's the ultimate French toast with bananas and caramel and raspberry coulis. It's just delicious. You can get it in Captain Cook's, which is the quick service at the Polynesian as well, but I think it's a bit nicer to have a sit down at Kona Cafe. It reminds me of my first trip that we ever went on.
It's very exciting. Then we are heading to Epcot. We are going to do some eating around the world, which will be very exciting.
Definitely. Bit of food and wine.
Yeah. Just taking it all in. Probably we'll try and get Guardians again for that day.
I'd have thought so.
And then we're being very flexible. We might go to Holly Shoes, we might not. We won't need to get lunch anywhere because we'll fill up eating around the world.
Oh yeah.
But whatever happens, we will be going to Magic Kingdom in the evening to watch Happily Ever After.
And I will be devastated if there's lightning and they call it off.
Exactly, yes.
And then, sadly, on day 14, it's travel day. We're going home.
However, we are not leaving until around 8 p.m.
That's our flight time, so yeah. We'll probably
So-
leave Disney World about maybe 3, I'd have thought, to give us time. You need 3 hours at the airport for a long haul, and then 2 hours to sort ourselves getting there, I think.
Yeah. But until 3. Where?
Yeah, Magic Kingdom, baby.
Yeah.
Soak in a bit more of the magic, say goodbye to the castle, and then get on the Tragical Express. Not that we can call it that anymore because it's just the Mears Connect. But get back on the bus, head to the airport, then we've got that mammoth trek back via Dublin, and then we are flying back from Dublin into Heathrow. And then getting a bus from Heathrow back to Bristol with my family, and then we've got to drive back up to the East Midlands the day after to work. Whose great idea was that?
Very full on.
It's 48 hours travelling. It's going to be horrendous. That is our Disney trip, and we are so excited. Please do follow along. Hopefully this was helpful. I will try and link our kind of template of what we did down below so that you can see that. I'll pop it up on the screen so you can get a kind of idea of what you could do on your trip if you wanted a similar kind of style trip. Follow along for more content. Like we said, we're going to be doing Pack With Us. You kind of want to do a live Lego castle. We've got some other Disney Lego as well. We're going to do our park bag. There's all sorts coming your way. So keep an eye out. Follow us on Instagram as well. That is also just in your Disney dreams. Do give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below and subscribe as well to see all of that new content. And other than that, we'll see you real soon.